Hello and welcome back to Storytime at Nana's house. So good to have you here once again. So the story I'd like to share with you right now is called The Fir Tree. And this story was published by my friends over at Cottage Door Press. Let's read. Long ago, in the middle of a forest, stood a little fir tree. All around was a wonderful smell of pine. And every day, the birds sang joyfully. But the little fir tree wasn't happy. I wish I was big and tall like you, he complained to the other fir trees growing high above him. I wish I could nearly touch the sky and look out over the whole forest. You will be a grand fir tree one day, one of the other trees chuckled. Just be patient now. And enjoy being young while it lasts, said another. It's the best time of your life. How can it be? Thought the little fir tree to himself. I'm always in the shadows cast by the bigger trees. Even worse for the little fir tree was the way an annoying hare kept using him for jumping practice. I can leap right over you. The hare gloated as he bounded up the little fir tree and then jumped easily off of him. It made the little fir tree so cross. That means angry. He was very annoyed. The little fir tree even envied the big trees that were chopped down by the woodcutters. The birds told him that the trees were carried on horse-drawn carriages and taken to do very important and exciting jobs. Some would become the masts of huge ships and sail around the world. 2 years went by, and the little fir tree slowly grew a little bit taller. The hare could no longer jump over him now, but still the little fir tree wasn't happy. I wish I could be older and taller than the other trees, he moaned impatiently. Will the woodcutter even notice me and cut me down? He said. Next winter, just before Christmas, one of the woodcutters did notice the little fir tree. What a fine specimen, the woodcutter said as he walked around the little fir tree. Yes, you will be just perfect, he said. It hurt a little when the woodcutter swung his axe at him, but the little fir tree did not mind at all. At last he was going to be important. He wondered whether he was going to be made into a ship and travel the world. Instead, and just as good, he was taken to a grand house and placed in the middle of the grandest room of all, with a very high ceiling. The little fir tree stood tall and proud. Everyone in the house hurried into the room to admire the tree, and the children danced around him gleefully. He was soon made to feel even more special when the children decorated his branches with baubles, ribbons, and twinkling lights. How he loved to hear them giggle as they tried to place a star on top of the tree. It felt as if he was wearing a crown. And when they had finished, the children joined the adults in singing songs that they called Christmas carols. At the end of the evening, before turning off the lights, the mother took one last look at the little fir tree. Beautiful, she said, surely the finest Christmas tree ever. The little fir tree had never felt so proud. Early the next morning, the children rushed in to see him. He thought they were going to dance around him again, but this time they just grabbed the boxes from under the tree and ripped off the pretty paper. The very next day, The little fir tree was shocked to hear the servant say, "Time to take this old tree down." After all the decorations had been removed, the little fir tree was carried up into the cold, dark loft. All he had for company were a few mice sheltering from the snow outside. To pass the time, the little fir tree would tell the mice stories about his forest days, the warm shafts of sunlight, the wonderful tickling breezes, and the chattering birds. He even smiled when telling them about the annoying hare that was always jumping over him. "It was actually a lot of fun," he admitted. Then one day as spring arrived, the little fir tree was taken out into the yard. His heart leapt because he thought they were going to replant him. But then he noticed that his branches were now brown and brittle, nothing like the lush green that they used to be. "This tree is quite dead, only good for firewood," said the gardener, dragging him toward a crackling bonfire at the far end of the yard. "If only I hadn't always longed to be old," sighed the little fir tree. He even remembered those warm summer days in the forest when the birds sang so sweetly, and he thought about Christmas too. And the brave little fir tree wished he had enjoyed himself while he could. And that's the end. Da da da. Oh my goodness. Whew. Time passes so quickly, doesn't it? For you grown-ups out there, grandparents, caregivers, teachers, whoever you may be. I know you probably feel the same way that this Nana does. That time is just a vapor and moments pass by far too quickly. So please enjoy every moment that you have, especially with the littles in your life, because they too grow so quickly. It is time for me to go, but before I do, I just want to encourage you to continue letting your light shine by being kind. Until next time, God bless you, take care of yourselves, and remember that this Nana right here loves you. Take care.